Due no doubt to its permanent supply of fresh water, there is much evidence to suggest the Hobart Rivulet has been a site of human settlement for many centuries. It was certainly used by Tasmania's indigenous owners, the Muhunina or Southeast people. They referred to the rivulet as Nibaloon and used it as a summer camp. With the advent of European settlement in the early 1800s, it was rediscovered by Lieutenant Governor David Collins. In 1804, Collins, upon inspecting Risdon Cove, site of the original Hobart Town settlement, recommended immediately moving several kilometres downriver to Sullivan's Cove, citing as his main reason for the move the excellent supply of permanent fresh water flowing from the creek running off the slopes of Mount Wellington. Covering a catchment area in excess of 2,200 hectares from the mountain to the Derwent River, the Hobart Rivulet, as it is now known, is a watercourse that since the early 1800s has had significant involvement in the development of Tasmania's capital city. Together with the provision of a permanent fresh water supply, the rivulet soon had a pivotal role in the colony's early industry. In 1804, Hobart had its first watermill. Because of the water, timber mills and tanneries soon followed. Early settler and entrepreneur Peter de Graves saw another use for the waters. Established on land he purchased in South Hobart adjacent to the rivulet, de Graves' Cascade Brewery is today the oldest continually operating brewery in Australia. The rivulet was also seen as a good place to establish housing. In 1815, Hobart Harbour Master James Kelly began to build his rock house on a bank of the rivulet. Other houses soon followed. The location was perfect, as rubbish and sewage could be conveniently dumped directly into the water. By 1830, the rivulet waters, once responsible for giving life to the settlers, were now killing them in droves. Almost a third of the Hobart Town population died from outbreaks of typhoid and dysentery, caused by drinking the water. As the city grew and other cleaner water supplies were established, large parts of the original 13-kilometre rivulet bed began to disappear under the layers of concrete and brick of an ever-expanding Hobart. However, in many places, the rivulet still retains a presence in the modern city. In the Hobart Mall, the original 1840s Wellington Bridge is clearly visible. Parts of the watercourse can also be seen in Barrack and Harrington Streets. In Collins Street, sandstone blocks from 1823 are clearly visible. In other areas of the city, plaques and engravings mark sites where the waterway once flowed as an open creek. And most surprising of all, under modern business premises in Argyle Street, the rooms of an original riverside cottage can still be seen. But it is beneath the streets there can be found the most poignant reminders of Hobart's past. A kilometre of convict-built tunnels, sewers and infrastructure lie perfectly preserved directly below the modern streetscape. And it is they that provide a fascinating view of a city laid down by the prisoners who laboured to create what are now the foundations of modern Hobart.
Everything changes and some things stay the same. We remain a port city, nestled under a mountain, and the Derwent River still defines us. Under the noise of the traffic, though 2 centuries have passed, echoes of those convict builders and pioneering settlers can still be heard in today's modern Hobart. Under Elizabeth Street is an arched drain of tapered bricks made and laid by convicts. Not far away there's even a sandstone bridge buried under the tile and tar of the Hobart Mall. Going further into the darkness, there's evidence of the many uses of the stream and its surrounds. Drains varying from hand-carved sandstone to modern poly. The remnants of buildings and dwellings, once beside the stream and now covered over. The rivulet is no longer used as the common sewer that it was in the past. Runoff into the stream today is only rainfall. However, the natural gradient and course of the rivulet is still used to carry the pipes of Hobart's sewerage system. In the more modern past, people have used the stream and its tunnel as an urban art gallery. Much of this art is ephemeral, changing and disappearing over time. Today, all of Hobart's water comes from the Derwent River above New Norfolk and from Lake Fenton near Mount Field. But the rivulet still holds sights and stories of the development of Hobart and of its use and abuse and dependence by the early settlement and the city.
The Hobart Rivulet still flows from the summit of Mount Wellington down to the Derwent estuary. And with this vast body of water flowing through and beneath it, flooding has been a regular feature, with shops, cinemas and houses in the city centre sometimes inundated. As part of a modern stormwater system, the rivulet now helps protect the city from flooding, and in this role still plays a part in the ongoing development of modern Hobart. Today, the rivulet's 13-kilometre trail from Wellington Summit to Derwent River is a place connecting the city to the mountain both conceptually and physically, and one that provides a sense of the natural in a largely urban environment. Along this summit to city trail is the Female Factory. After leaving the ships at Sullivan's Cove, convict women walked to this place, and here they served their prison term. A step away from the factory is Cascade Gardens, a green and tree-shaded park with a children's playground, picnic and barbecue area. Standing like a sentinel over the gardens and still on the original site is Peter de Grave's Cascade Brewery. Nearby, a walking track leaves the gardens and runs alongside the rivulet through the inner suburb of South Hobart to the city centre. In this, the new millennium, the rivulet watercourse is now a place to relax and enjoy the beauty of nature.